We are live. We are live. We are live. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Well, for those of you who don't know, I'm Joey.
Steve from Limits Tackle.
Mr. LT. And of course, myself, Mr. SK. Want to give a big shout out to Super Dave over there in the chat. He can say howdy in the chat, but I can't get him to come on the live.
One day
it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. This is some recordings that I took today. I just wanted to show Joey. I know Joey already knew about it. He spotted the fish automatically, but I know a lot of you guys always hear me talk about the fish being in and under the structure. And you see that little limb that's right there, that bright. Now that's a catfish up there messing with my split shot, so I don't even pay no attention to them. But you see that crappie come from up under there? I see a whole bunch of that. Now I will say, today was a special day for Lake Houston because a lot of the fish today were. Let's see if I can make this work right. A lot of the fish today were not necessarily up under the structure, but above it. And I did get on a couple of fish that were just out suspended. And that's almost unheard of for Lake Houston. Almost unheard of. I should have had this done earlier, but I had some other stuff I had to take care of, so y'all got to deal with me getting this stuff loaded up, and I'm just gonna do what I'm doing right here. God. How did your trip go the other day, Joey? You was out.
So I saw what you're seeing right now, but without the quantities. So the fish had, and one of the things I'm noticing on that right there, and I want anybody who fishes Lake Houston that has any electronic to focus in on, there is not one spot of thermocline all the way down to 10 foot where these fish are actually at and aggressive.
Yeah.
They had a zero. You weren't going to go find thermocline at 10 foot and they were sitting in structure a foot above it. If there was thermocline, they weren't there at all, from what I could tell. And if they were there, they weren't reacting. They were just dead. I never did catch anything if I saw any thermocline on the screen. But when I did find fish, they were abnormally aggressive.
Yeah.
And I'm watching what you're doing right there down in the pile. That's what I had to do. But my biggest setback was finding water without thermocline on Lake Houston. Yeah, it was everywhere.
Yeah. Yep, I agree.
But
now I will tell you,
yours was today. Mine, I went out yesterday, and that was my first trip out in a while too.
Early in the morning, you can't run from the thermocline. You just can't. But after the sun gets up, it do sink down a little bit. But what I was seeing is those fish would go down. I didn't record that because I still had my clients on the trip. When I was that morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now this big fish, this is something I want to talk about on this video. If you live scoping, your first interaction with that fish is the absolute most important. Now that other fish that's right there is way bigger than the fish that I just caught. And that one right there, I just shook him loose on top of the water. That's why you see him going back down. But I messed up and my jig got snagged. I'm gonna replay this one. But if you look, when I first come up to that fish, my jig got snagged on that limb that's right there. And that's when he turned around, it was a done deal.
Right.
And the bigger the fish, the more important it is on that first reaction. See, right, I got snagged on that limb right there, and he just turned away. And I put that jig. I actually hit that fish and made him go down. And then the fish that I caught come from up under him. But the first reaction is always the most critical. Another catfish coming up on the 4-foot side. Now you'll see this other fish come from up under this fish here in a little bit. Yeah. Right there. See him shoot up under there?
Yeah.
But it was a small fish.
Right. That's like today.
Yep.
Get out the way.
Exactly. I know I don't have these all in order, but we'll just let them play. I don't even think I caught a fish on this one. If I don't even remember. And again, inside the brush right there, I don't even think I got a reaction from this fish. But and I know if you guys look, that's the
Caribbean.
No, that's
Moss. No,
that's I'll think of it in a minute. I caught that one.
It's like an amber.
Amber, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Steve, what was your day like today?
It was good, man. Got there, I think launched at 11:15. Hit the first brush pile, probably 12, 13 foot of water. Got 5. There was more there, but I'd catch about 5 and then I move on. I just want something new. Went to the next one, caught another 5 or 6, then went to one more, and I didn't even count, but I probably had, because I was going to catch my last 5 on timber. So I went to timber. I caught 3, and I'm like, I better count. I counted, and I had 25.
One of my moves.
Yep. And I lost a huge. It was, I don't know, man. I know it was at least a 2.5 pounder. And I won this Edgar rod at where did I win that? At Lake of the Pines, a tournament. And I just been using it. You know, nothing knocking Edgar. It's a good rod. It's light, but it ain't gonna swing no 2.5 pounder though. But I thought I swung some 220s before, but I tried to swing that thing in, and the rod was like, I thought it was gonna break, and then I try it again. I get it right on the rail, and that fish, the hook just went right through his mouth.
Wow!
I'm like, I should have just went down there and lipped it. It was probably a lake record. I don't know what the lake record is, but that thing was huge. And 22 foot of water on the tree. I was sick. I would have traded that fish for that whole limit I had.
Wow.
But that's how it is, you know what I mean? Should have had the net out.
You can slap me, talk about it.
Live and learn. But it was a good day. Then I went around looking around a little bit, but it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
And lately, all my trips I'll show up to Lake 3:30, 11:30, 2:30, 1:30. I haven't been going in the mornings.
That's what's up.
Hey, they got to eat all day.
It's another one that I was trying to find, but I don't know if I'm gonna.
When I was out, I don't know if you noticed today or not, but when I was out, they picked up and moved that barge that was by the mouth of the East Fork. Was that still gone today?
You talking about over there at the West Arm?
Not the West Fork where all the dredges are, but they had that pump unit that was hooked to all the piping that went up into Lucy's.
I didn't even notice.
Didn't pay attention. Yeah, so they hooked that thing up to a tug yesterday and drug it off. I'm wondering if they're peeling out of there.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I'm about done with it.
Yeah, because all around 1960, all of that is trash, man. I've went over there and looked, man. Just all of that, the sediment and crap they
Mm-hmm.
stirring up over there. That area is nowhere near what it used to be.
No.
Purple crown looking things in chat.
Yeah, I was looking. I didn't see. I didn't know what that was. What that was.
Do you see them? What is it?
I
I don't
don't.
see it.
I don't see it either.
Purple crown thing.
What are the
Purple.
purple crown looking things in chat? I can't see it, Super Dave.
Yeah, let me fire up my phone.
I don't see it.
I'm convinced catfish and gar are attracted to the clicks of a live scope.
Hey,
I
Tor.
think I think the catfish run from it,
Really,
especially the big ones.
seems like every time I'm locked into a fish, some big joker comes rolling through my pile and messes everything up for me.
Huh. Yeah, I've been seeing. If I pull up on a pile and I see a big old catfish land out, I just
No,
move
you just
on.
take off. Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know
If
they're
one
not there.
swim in, you see the crappie leaving.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Slap B summer just started, man, but I'm right there with you, man. I could go for some I can go for some cool weather for sure. I sure can. Slabs on deck. So I feel you, Steve. I'll wait until about 10 until the crappie come off their night travel back to the piles.
Uh,
I'll tell you what, down here it don't take till 10. As soon as that sun start cresting that wood line, it's
hmm.
they there. They are there.
Yeah, I don't know what them crowns are. He just texted me. I didn't see it when I went
Did he
on
send
that.
you a picture of it?
Yeah, he probably sent you one too.
No, I don't think so. But I don't see it.
Opened my phone up on the chat. I didn't see it. Number one, number three, number one.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know.
Maybe it tracks people, their responses, and gives them, like what they call it, most people that interact.
Yeah.
Cool October.
Now,
It's gonna be cooler tomorrow. 85 here tomorrow.
Black Smoke, you can have it.
Oh man, it's gonna be a crazy weekend.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Yeah, no.
I'm not sure. I see it on yours, Super Dave, but I'm not. It's not showing on mine.
High 83. Man, it's gonna be good. Rain on Friday. 4th of July.
That may be. I don't know. But I'm looking at your comments. It's either Oh, I did. I passed up Mr. Fahim. Didn't put him up. Yep. Slab B said Amber. See, I'm just now seeing some comments
Yeah.
that wasn't there when I scrolled through a while ago.
Hmm.
Slab B saying, "What's up?" I
What's
didn't
up,
see that.
Bobby?
Joey saying, talking to JR. I didn't see that. So there's something definitely going on with the chat, but I'm not seeing the.
Yeah, that was a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the.
It's probably refreshing.
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Fahim.
Maybe. Torque, what's going on, my man?
What's happening? You been fishing?
Slappy saying, now I'm king. Now I've got a crown.
I guess Slab B sees it.
Oh, Joey, they original were to move dredging to East Fork above 1960.
There really ain't but one spot they need to clear out.
I
And
don't
that's,
think any of it's worth them doing.
yeah, it's that one spot that's, well,
At the mouth of the river.
it gets about a foot shallower. We ain't got to worry about ski boats in the East Fork anymore.
Exactly. Yep. It's coming.
Yeah,
It is coming.
yeah, it
Now,
was.
what's going to happen then is they're going to trash out Waterside.
Yeah.
Because, right there, say, for instance, you leaving Waterside going to the main lake, you run that left side by the wood line right there.
Hmm.
That's getting super shallow, too.
Yeah.
But I seen a bass boat cut through the just about middle the other day. I mean, he was blazing. I was like, man, he gonna
Mhm.
come to a quick halt, but he
Yeah.
straight through. But the water level was up a little bit.
The water level's up, and I'll tell you, trimmed out right, there ain't a whole lot of boat in the water when it's a
Yeah,
bass
right.
boat.
Yep. Joe, he say, Slap me say he gonna ban them wake boats. It'd be nice. The wakes those things throw, man, I just can't believe
That's not a
they're
wave.
legal.
It's a wave. That's not a
Yeah,
wave. It's a wave.
Yeah,
I know. I hate them things.
3 to 4 foot tall. Some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the worst one that hit me, I had 2 clients on my boat, and I was on Conroe, and I seen him when it was coming by, way too close to us, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
told my clients, hey man, y'all brace yourself. We're gonna have a giant wave come to us. So when the wave got close to us, I turned the back of my boat towards the wave. It lifted the back of my boat and drove the front of my boat into the lake. I had the whole front of my front deck was underwater.
Mm.
That's how high it had my boat up. Unbelievable.
Man,
Carlton say, I see them. I was wondering what that was. Huh. Slick Willie, what's going on, my man?
Slick, what's happening?
There's JLD. But man, I'm gonna tell you, I don't actually. What was that Monday? I was out on Houston. We almost double limited that day too. I think
Yeah,
that was Monday.
it's there's something right now going on that just got them acting right.
Yeah. One thing I will say, I'm not seeing those gigantic balls of shad.
No, I didn't even think
I
about
didn't see
that, but
that.
you're right. And you
But
know
they
what? Yeah, you're not having to. There's not a lot of playing with it or anything. It's like
no,
if
they
they
coming to
see it,
get it.
they're gonna hit it.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that Dallas crappie fishing right now. Uh,
Kusi said, what's going on, fellas? Just got in from my 4th day, 1-man limit on big gills. Funny thing, caught them
Cool,
on chicken liver.
man.
Wow.
where's there a limit on gills at?
He may have
Yeah, some states do.
some states do, but he
Hmm.
may have a personal deal going on. I'm not sure.
My limit is how many do I want to clean?
Exactly. Always. Always.
How many do I feel like messing with
Yep.
today?
Hey, I will tell you this. So I've been experimenting with something. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'll wait because I'm gonna make a video doing it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you, you can't talk about nothing now without somebody jumping all over what you're talking about. So I hadn't seen nobody do this, but there's a different way I've been doing my gills, and man,
Hmm.
I'm gonna tell you something. Been good. Been really good. But once I put the video together, then we'll talk about it. I probably shouldn't even brought it up, but I want to try it on crappie too. It's a way of cooking them.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, slaps on deck. Did you go and try any of those places? Because there was a couple that was listed. That I was like, I've never even heard of it, but I want to go and check it out.
Oh, was that the barbecue post?
Uh huh.
So I almost commented, and I'm like, man, this is going to be a roll call and a half, especially
Yeah.
on something
What do
like
you
this.
what have you tried that you think is
So,
really good?
so Pit Room downtown is amazing, and that's kind of a Tex-Mex barbecue flair mashup. They've got it's just good. I love Pit Room. Truth Barbecue downtown. There's another one called Killins. I know that's really good. Triple J's in East Houston is awesome. Um, it's hard, but you threw out just passing through here in Huffman. I
Uh-huh.
mean, I've been eating Mr. Bobby's food for a long time because I live
Yeah.
here. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
that's a go-to. The thing is when you ask what's the best uh barbecue in Houston,
There's tons.
that's a big
Yeah.
area
Yeah.
to cover, you know. So it's like it depends on what part of Houston you're talking about because you really don't have to drive real far to get
Right.
really good stuff. So it really depends on where you're at.
Right.
Pinkerton's JR, I have heard of it. I don't know that I've ever tried it.
Yeah, there was one that was in I forget the name of it, but I'm gonna go and check it out. There was a several people that commented
In
on that one.
Alabama, it's 50. Okay.
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 Bluegill. I know there's a few states that have a limit.
Okay. Kusa said 50.
Yep,
Arkansas
50
too.
in Arkansas. Yeah.
Hmm. As far as casting to them, JR, it is something you can do on Conroe, and it's fun. If you ever get a chance to go cast at them, and if you're unsure about yourself, I know a guide that can take you out and show you how to do it. But that's
It's fun.
it's fun. He
Yep.
just so happens to be on the live tonight. Just saying something without saying something. But,
Yeah, that don't work on Houston.
mm-mm.
If I would have thought about it as aggressive as they were today, and
Maybe tried a few.
try it, yeah, with them not being so deep in the structure, but that remains to be seen. As of right now, even pitching to a crappie on Lake Houston is just that don't work that I've seen.
Yeah. Do you think with the masses of bait balls that end up congregating, it's kind of conditioned them to just not chase?
They don't have to.
They just wait for it to come to them.
Yeah. Yep. They act identical to the way flathead act.
Mm-hmm.
A flathead gonna post up, and the only time he's gonna dart out there is when he don't have to put a lot of energy into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that I have seen this week on Houston early is those crappie will be just open water and they're just slowly swimming. And if you watch, and I'll just sit there and watch them, and they'll get near you. You can see a little small fish. I don't know if it's a shad or whatever type of little small, and you can see them standing up, and they will hit that. They will chase that bait down, but they're not putting a
Mm-hmm.
lot of energy into it.
Right.
JLD say he saw a whole bunch of balls of shad Monday out there towards the main part of the river on the sandbar in front of Waterside. I'm not sure if they even still spun. I didn't see any spawning activity this morning.
I saw I one of the fish I cleaned, one of them had what looked to be just an old dried up egg sac still left in it. I mean, it wasn't eggs. It just you could see that
Yeah.
last little yellow line, and it was all dried up. So
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure they're done.
Cool.
Still good fillets though. They're still real wide in the back.
Oh
I
yeah.
noticed
Yeah.
that they're still real healthy.
Yeah. I caught
Bluegill.
crappie.
Oh,
We caught two today that I was like, let's just put it back. And it's the white crappie, the ones that are usually thin down from the spawn.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'll tell you what, I fished Somerville. I've been on Somerville a couple times past couple weeks. The fish on that, man, it's amazing the thickness of those fish
Hmm.
black crappie.
and whites.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they spawned early and just done recovered, or they just don't. They didn't lose the weight.
Hmm.
But they're super, super. Now I will tell you this, man. That lake fish is right now is fishing a whole bunch like Lake Houston, in and under,
Hmm.
in and under.
Hmm.
Yep. Tusi said they got 50 gills too. Okay, he said he went to Ray's barbecue. If he went 2 days in a row, that means it's really good.
Yep.
Okay.
I've never heard of Ray's.
Mm-mm. What part of town's that in? No, I haven't, JR. I think I said that already. Yeah,
Yeah,
Pinkertons. I've heard of it. I've heard
yeah.
it.
I've seen a few people mention that on that post.
Hmm.
Yeah, they got 30 on crappie. Man, I rarely keep 30 crappie. 15 is my limit unless I'm having a big fish fry. That's the same way I am too. Usually 5, 6, or 7 fish. And I'm gonna cook
Hmm.
them. That day or the next day.
Yeah, six. My family of four, six feeds us and then
Yeah.
some. That usually
Uh-huh.
got a fillet or two left over that my son typically confiscates for his lunch the next day.
Cool.
I ain't lying barbecue. I for sure ain't heard of that one.
Hmm.
Carlton says it's really good.
Hmm.
Okay, 50 in Georgia too on the bluegill. Pinkerton only has about seating for 20 people. Always a line out the door.
Oh wow.
What
Yeah,
part of
you.
town is it? I heard of one. It was one that I forget the name of. They said it was in Tomball. I'm gonna go and check that one out. That's pretty close to me.
Craig's in the house. Here we go.
Cool.
You must be a lot farther down there than me.
Yeah, I'm reading
Swing
ahead.
by the lab
What's
soon.
up, Darian?
Slab B says the bite report here on the Coosa River. One day they picky as crap. Next day they will bite about same depth as last week, 10 to 12 foot on stumps and brush piles. Haven't seen a lot of deeper fishing. Are you seeing any thermocline up there yet? Slab B? There's Danny.
Danny, what's up?
84 to 86, I believe. You should be seeing, 86 degrees, you should be seeing thermocline.
Yeah, I seen when I launched it was 92, and then it got a little cooler as it went. I can't remember what it was when I left.
Old Spanish Trail. Okay.
What was your water temp when you fishing today?
I said last I looked, but my
Oh, that's right.
front
Yeah.
unit's not working. But the last I looked at on my console's up to 86.
Oh, okay.
But I know it got hotter than that because it got hot down here today. Craig said, "Bet you guys missed me last week, didn't you? We only talked about you last week."
We're wondering how that tomahawk was.
Yep. There's LT Limits Tackles Facebook.
Yeah, all I've seen of Craig is hay cutting. I don't think I've seen a fish pick in a while.
His grandson went out.
Yeah, that's true. I did see that.
Craig said, "That's a hell of an introduction." God dang it!
Did you notice?
Dave, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Did you notice that they were were they? I about had a 12-inch white jerk the pole out of my hand. I mean they're I mean
Aggressive.
yeah, they're hitting hard. That was my question: is were they hitting hard like that today too?
Yeah.
I haven't had the crappie hit hard for a little today. I think one of them hit hard. All the other ones were soft.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I bet the ones that don't hit it hard, they hitting up on it hard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can see them; they charging it pretty good. And
But
the
a
thing
couple
too,
days ago, the first 4 fish kept unbuttoned. I'm like, man, what's going on? I'm looking at my hook, and
yeah,
I don't know if
Yeah.
their mouths were softer or they
I
were
think
like,
they're
we ain't
just-
going with you.
they're just tail nipping it.
Yeah, I don't know. was
Yeah.
crazy.
Somerville was the worst.
Did the same thing.
Yeah, Somerville was horrible. Man, I lost
Ugh.
4 or 5 big fish up top. And I was like, man,
Yep.
what is? And I immediately downsized. That didn't work. I mean, just and then I finally went with those wire hooks,
Uh-huh.
and it don't sound right, but I mean it. I don't
Right.
know why, but they worked. One thing that I did too, though, was like I was saying, I lighten up because anytime I use them, I run a super light drag.
Right.
So every time I set the hook, you can hear the drag. You know,
Right.
it screams. That may have been. I'm not sure,
Right.
but the I probably could have used a sickle or the steel heads that I tried before, and it made it work if I would lighten that drag up. And none of them were hook deep. I mean, these are all lip hook fish, but
Right.
but running that drag a lot lighter definitely got them to the boat. Yep.
She okay, Craig? Craig's wife got in a wreck. Sounds like.
Oh, really? I almost had a wreck today too. I almost T-boned or some SUV looking thing.
Oh man.
No, we don't get much thermocline unless it don't rain for a long time. It's all this. That's right. Me and you, we talked about that before. So you always got moving water in there. There's Wayne. What's going on, man?
Ryan, what's happening?
Looks like y'all having fun on Lake Houston recently. Yeah, man. It looks nasty. Them recordings that I was showing a while ago. If you look at the times on it, I think that was probably 1 o'clock or so.
Mhm.
Yep, right at 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
So the when the sun is up and it is heated up, that thermocline sinks down to, I don't know, 10, maybe 11, 12 foot. That looks really good. I'm running it super hot. I usually don't never run my unit that hot, but when the sun's super bright, I always brighten it up with the
Yeah,
game so you can
72.
see.
I don't think I've been in the 70s yet on mine.
Yeah, yeah. But when it's super bright, I always bump it up, especially when I got clients on the boat. Make sure that they can see the fish and the jig and all of that. But
Man,
that
that's
looks
awesome.
good compared
Yeah.
to. You can see how aggressive that fish hit.
Yeah, that was great. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. They've been hitting really good
Hmm.
this week.
Mm.
Yep. But if you can beat that thermocline, you got it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Slab be said on all Coosa River lakes, 6 of them either be water coming in from lake above or going out.
Mm.
6 dams up the river.
Right.
River chain. Wow.
Did you have to change colors a lot today, or did they pretty much stick to one?
No, I changed colors one time. I had the pearl on. This is what I ran Monday. This is what I figured out Monday. Pearl in the brown water, and a jig that I bet you I got these jigs from Steve 4 or 5 years ago. And Monday when I was out, I changed jigs so many times. When I finally got to that color, and we calling it what did I say? What did that dude always say? That's money, dude. That's
Oh,
money, dude.
yeah.
Yeah. This is gonna be
The
the name of
steel
this jig.
cracker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this gonna be the name of this jig, right? And it's plain as all get out. I mean, there's nothing spectacular about it. I don't know why. I'll say to my client, past, future, I don't know why they're hitting it. What's special about it?
Right.
There's absolutely nothing special about it. But it is still in the green family.
Okay.
And green has been working extremely well for me. So, I mean, but it's I don't know. And then it's a great big old 2-inch shad pattern bait.
I will tell you. So I don't know if you even had to try one or did try one. I started out early with a green. I don't remember if it was the spring green or it was the more. The spring green's got a kind of it's brighter than what I had on. I don't remember what specific
Yeah.
color I had, but they were doing good on it. And then they kind of backed off of it, and I dropped a pink down there, and they were getting after it on a pink.
Really?
So I just stuck with it. Yep.
You know what? I gave you some of them jigs that I'm talking about.
Yep. Okay.
The I don't have any in here, but they got black flake in it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think I gave you 3 or 4 of
Okay.
them, I think.
Yep. You did. I didn't even pull it out because I still had a green on a hook and dropped it and one ate it. So away we
Yeah,
went.
yeah.
But and then
I don't.
I had a custom color made up that just occurred to me in my brains, and so I'm dying to try that. We'll
Okay.
see if we'll see if I'm. It's that one with the different colored flakes and the
Oh
pearl
yeah.
belly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
You used it yet?
I'm dying to though.
Oh, okay.
I'm itching so bad, and I tell you what's even bad. So even worse. Um, Jr. told me that all that horsepower doesn't make the fish bite any faster, but it gets me point A to point B pretty good. So,
And it
but
sounds cool when it starts.
yeah, it does. Sounds really
That's even
cool when
more
it
important.
starts. Yeah, that sounds nice. But I so heading back towards the marina, heading back towards Waterside, just before, if you're heading north, just before that long tree, that big pine tree that's fallen into the river, it
Uh-huh.
just kind of sticks out from the bank. Once you come around the corner at Waterside, it's just sticking right out there.
Uh-huh.
Um, I was a little ways past that on my last hole, and I had to come in and kind of come in quick because I had something to do that afternoon, and so I just you know hit my whole shot like normal, got past that tree, and as I came up to the curve, I mean, I didn't go very far. I looked down and I was doing 68, and I thought, man, and it's just so smooth.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of halfway thought it'd be a mean trick, but I need to get you on that boat and just go ahead and motivate you to drop that big old check.
One of these days it's gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
One of these days it's gonna have to happen.
Well, the July sale, right?
No, not this soon. I don't think not that soon. But it would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that's looking as good as it is though. Because it had a lot more static in it than that. There's something, yeah. StreamYard's cleaning that up or something. My screen didn't look that clean today.
You talking about like actually looking at it on the?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought
My
I heard
screen,
somebody. I thought somebody had told me that for some reason those units record a lot clearer than they display.
yeah,
I can't remember who told me or where I heard that from, but
yeah. Slabs on deck. I this time of year I'd love to do it. I like doing it myself, but one thing that I found is I've did a few uh guide trips at night, and it's unless you know how to live scope, it's almost impossible to have somebody new, especially using a long rod because it stays tangled up,
mm-hmm.
and they it's just it's more difficult. It's more difficult for sure, but you beat the heat and you can catch fish.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about you know middle of the night pitch black, but I would definitely consider, especially when it's in a full moon phase, and
Like,
they're not going to be very active midday. I would do a really really early morning or
Mhm.
even a late into the evening kind of thing. But I also don't trust Lake Houston not being able to see.
right.
One thing I will tell you, Lake Houston is never dark at night. the lights from, especially if it's cloudy.
Mm.
If it's cloudy, the lights from
From
the
the city?
surrounding area from the city
Yeah,
keeps. I mean, you can see.
you can still see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. But with some of the gators that I've been seeing out there lately, I'm
Yeah,
just
there's some
not
good ones
really.
out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, I'm just not really wanting to be on the front edge of my boat.
No.
Craig says his wife spent 2 days in the hospital, but
Oh man.
airbags
Man, hopefully
airbags
that's
saved her.
nothing but just some soreness at the end of
Yeah.
the day.
I'll tell
You
you
know.
what, I've seen some people get injured from the airbags.
Oh yeah. Burned.
Yeah.
Yep. Drunk driver, man.
Yeah, JR, it was hot. I had my umbrella up then though. My client, I had already filleted fish, and I was just back at 1 o'clock. I was actually waiting on Gorman to give me a call back today.
Yeah, that you got to clock out early today.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's almost unheard of.
when am I gonna get a day like that with you?
Well, I don't know, man. I was caught by surprise.
Yeah, yeah.
Wayne said he just watched Steel Cracker.
Yeah, I met him at the Bassmaster Classic.
Oh, Steel Cracker
He
used to
was
be a
over
state
there.
trooper.
Yeah. Yep.
I've
I've
heard that.
tried.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure though.
I've tried some of his his
Seasoning.
tricks and tips and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I've never tried his seasonings, but like
Yeah.
that easy peel shrimp technique he did,
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
I used it. It works.
Yeah.
The way he does his shrimp and stuff like that.
JR, were you in brown water or in the little cleaner water? Because color right now, the color of the water is a determining factor on what I'm gonna drop down there, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go pearl if the water is brown. If you get up close to if you go up the river, you're gonna find brown water. But some for some reason there's a section of the river right there that got sort of a greenish tint to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still murky, but
Yeah.
it's not brown murky.
JR, did you end up going north after I saw you, or I didn't see you come down south at all? Because that's where I went. Yeah, that's right, Slab B.
Slab B, what you run? What boat you running? You got a Bass Cat too? Gerald said, SK, you don't have the sun glare
On the
in the
recorded. Yeah,
record. Exactly. Yep. You're so true. So true.
is there some sort of film or anything like that that they make that corrects that, or
Screen
best
protector,
bet
but
is
it's
just to
not
stick an
there.
umbrella over your head and knock it off
They have a
completely?
visor.
Exactly.
They have a visor you can buy.
Yeah, I've been on the boat with a visor, and it's
Same thing.
Still don't
yeah,
do.
yeah. The the best thing that I found is stand your unit straight up and down.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to tilt it, have your unit tilted to it like this at all, if it's tilted, it the glare will kill you. But if you stand that unit straight up and down, it helps on the glare. Big tip from SK.
Write it
It
down, y'all.
works.
Write it down.
It works. Tim, what's going on, my man? Me and Tim got to do our
What's
trip
happening?
on Conroe. Man, we caught so many bluegill and threw back so many bluegill, but we were only after filleters. I did keep me. I think I threw 6 in there that were just average size. That would be. I mean, you could have filleted them, but I wanted 6 to do my practicing on my little technique of the whole fry
Mhm.
deal that I was working on. But he still ended up taking some good fish home. And when he called me and told me, he said, "Man, these fish sort of got a butter flavor to them." It sort of dawned on me. I've always said they taste sweet,
Hmm.
but if you think about it, they do sort of have a butter flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had a good time. I mean, I showed him some areas of the lake, rode way up north, and then we got caught up in all of that weekend traffic.
Oh man.
Oh, at the ramp. Is that what he's talking about at the ramp?
Yeah. What's up, y'all? Thanks again for taking me SK and dealing with that. The S show at the ramp. And man, them gills taste so good. Yep. Yeah, man. The thing is that when we first pulled up there was a guy that he was there strapping his little boat down. I mean, right in the middle of the ramp. And I don't know. And there's a line like 6 boats up on the
Mm-hmm.
road up there. So I had to get in my truck, drive all the way around the turnaround, get in line. And then right when I get right there, get ready to pull down, some dude walks his truck and then back right down into the ramp.
Oh
When there's
man.
still 3 or 4 boats behind me.
Yeah.
But hey, it's the weekend, man. They don't know.
No.
They zero boat etiquette.
Mm-mm.
But that's expected on the weekend.
Yeah.
And if I would have went and said anything to him, he'd been ready to, pull his gun and want to shoot and talk noise. I was like, I just sat there and watched him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Labby, that night fishing can be tough.
Yeah.
Say you suck at night fishing. Don't do it much, but suck when I do. Wayne said, get you some gator tags.
Hmm.
The tag he gonna get is in a behind some bars down here. You mess with these gators in this lake.
They don't
Shoot.
allow gator hunting in Lake Houston. They don't allow much of anything in Lake
No,
Houston. I know
no,
that.
absolutely not even wild pig.
Hmm.
Yeah, if they don't allow you to do wild pig, they ain't gonna. They're not
Yeah.
gonna.
No.
Yeah, they barely let us hunt fish down.
Yeah.
Sure is nice out there at night, though. Yep, very peaceful. I totally agree. Yes, sir. Kusa said had a gator today wanted to play chicken with me. It's their time of year, man. They're
It
definitely out.
is, and you noticed. I noticed it too. I was trolling around and just jumping pile to pile, and I don't know about an 8-footer was. I mean, she wasn't 50 yards away from my boat,
Uh-huh.
and okay, you did go to the north. Oh, so you must have buzzed past me at some point when I was messing around. I didn't see you. Or you went north to the power lines across the river. That's what you mean. Okay. Um, but normally when they see you move or whatever, and they see how big the boat is, they
Yeah.
duck out.
Yeah.
She didn't flinch. She just
Yeah.
kept going, like she just stayed dead looking at me, and I was looking at her. I'm guessing she had a nest close or
Probably.
something.
Or somebody's been feeding her.
Yeah. Well,
That's the worst mistake to happen right there.
yeah, you don't want to do that. But another boat was coming. She didn't thrash. She didn't do anything. She just eased down real slow, and that's the worst. If they
Right.
splash and flop, I know they're running away. If they go
Right.
down slow, I don't know which direction they're going or what their
Yep.
intent is. So, I let her have the hole. I moved on because I wasn't going to attempt that one.
Oh, okay. You got a Foxcraft.
Oh, okay.
17.5-foot with a 90 horsepower Foxcraft was made in Jasper, Alabama.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Okay. Good to know, JR. She didn't do that, but he's saying they'll raise their tail up. I need to quit jumping ahead on these comments.
No, hey, do what you're doing. Those gators hop with hoping would throw them some free fish looking for lunch. Yep. That's what's wrong with the gators on Sheldon Reservoir. It's plumb dangerous over there.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and they're big. Goodness, those things
Giants.
are huge, big gators.
Yep.
Hmm.
Giants over there.
What's the biggest one you've seen?
Probably 14 foot.
Yeah,
There was one longer than my jumbo.
Yeah,
And that my jumbo's 14.
Yeah, 14s, 15s is, and
Yep.
the thing is a 12 is kind of normal on
Yeah.
that thing.
Yeah.
It
So this lake got islands throughout the middle of it.
Mhm.
And they get up on them islands, and some of them gators land on the ground look to stand up 4 foot. It's 4 foot from their belly being on the ground to the top of their backs. 4 foot. Massive gators, man.
And it's a really shallow lake. There's
Mm-hmm.
lily pads everywhere. It's loaded
Mm-hmm.
with fish. They got a ton to eat. That's why they're
Oh
there.
yeah. And you almost never see turtles in there. You almost never see snakes in there. You never see deer around the bank. Never see wild pig around the bank. The birds, you see birds. They nest a lot on those islands, but land birds you don't see.
Hmm. Wayne, I enjoy that too, man. I've seen so many videos what look to be the first steps of a divorce. These guys hit these things. You ever seen Haulover Inlet out
Yeah,
of Miami?
yeah,
You see somebody's old lady get launched off the bow of one of them
yeah,
boats and slung into the water. It is funny.
yeah,
Yeah, it's no joke. The guys that know how to navigate it do it well. The ones that don't, it's obvious.
yeah. That's right, Slappy. That's the worst thing to
Hmm.
happen with them. But yeah, I'll tell you what the funny thing about those videos you're talking about is the guy in the little 20-foot boat. What are you doing, man? Get out of there. There's
Hmm.
some in even smaller boats than that try to tackle those, and the current coming through there is crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Tim's seeing them too. I don't know what
Him
that's
seeing
from.
the crowns. I don't know either. Yeah,
I can't
Craig, they're
I
oh
can't see them.
yeah, Craig, they're nesting right now.
Yep.
Oh, I see a gold crown.
I'm not afraid of it. I've been out there. It used to be a awesome shell cracker lake.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go out there and shell cracker fish for it, but they've been spraying it. Back then it was I don't know the name of it, but it was like a moss grass that wasn't all slimy. Right now they've been spraying it, and the grass that's in it now is that real slimy stuff. And the red ear, from what I've seen, don't like it very much. I don't even think that they're surviving as well as that lake was plumb stacked with really nice red ear.
Is it real stringy when it comes up on your hook?
It's slimy. It sticks to it.
Slimy, yeah.
Yep. Slimy
So
string. Yep.
that yeah, you know what? When I had that issue in my pond until I put tilapia in it, but that's
Man.
they call it filamentous algae,
Oh
and
yeah. That's what it looks
it
like, an algae. Yeah.
yeah, it's an algae and it blooms right. It's blooming right now because well, we've had all this rain
Uh-huh.
and then a rapid increase in water temp, and it goes off, especially when there's a lot of nutrients in the water. And so you can either circulate and try to break it up and process it out. But the
Uh-huh.
best thing I ever did was put tilapia in, and
Oh,
my pond stays clean.
nice. Oh, Slab B say he got knocked down to king number 2 now. Okay. Oh, they're top fans, the purple
Mm.
things.
That's what I thought.
I wonder
Man, I
why I
got to
can't.
work on my status.
I wonder why I can't see it. Yep, that's right. That's what I call it, snot moss.
Yeah.
Instead of it being back in the day, it used to be that moss that actually filtered the water.
Hmm.
But the crap that's in there now, it's nasty. Wayne says the gators are showing up more and more in town of Victoria. Yeah, they're in the salt too. You know,
Mm-hmm.
years and years ago, I was out in Christmas Bay wade fishing, and it was late evening, and I'm going back to my boat, and I hear this loud thrash behind me. I'm like, oh man, don't tell me it's a shark behind me. Had a stringer of fish and everything going back to my boat, and after I got in my boat, 100 yards or so out there, gator head sitting up on top of us. I said, I'll be daggone.
Mm.
Yeah, they're in that salt water already.
Yeah. I see people post
Oh,
pictures of big
brackish.
ones in Bolivar.
Yeah,
There's some
yeah.
big ones in Bolivar.
Uh-huh. Oh, looky here. Season's 83.
Hey, the
Hard to
season.
get on
What's
bed.
happening, man?
get on the beds out there anymore. How's that? What are you talking about? Hard to get on the beds. Oh yeah, you talking about yes, very much so.
Sheldon.
Yeah, on
Hmm.
Sheldon. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
I had
grass
to
you said.
yeah. It's always been tough to get on the beds, but you still would find the little pockets and they
Mm,
they would clear it out a little bit, but now with that slimy stuff, you
yeah.
don't see it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Greg says
Craig.
tilapia a southern fish. I
Yeah,
need some.
if you were to do it, and you got to check your state regulations because they don't let them in just any state. They're because they can be considered invasive or whatever. But if you were to go that route, you would have to restock every spring because the water temp where you're at,
Yeah, it
they'd
kills
just
them.
they'd kill them all.
Yeah.
Um, I see a lot of guys on my private lake page and things like that that are kind of out of the zone for them, or they can't have them due to state regulation, and they have to spray some kind of copper stuff
mm,
or whatever. But yeah, that with your water temperatures, I mean, we had a cold winter this year, and I lost a ton of them, and what I lost were a lot of the juveniles or the smaller ones, and then I thought I probably had all of it die off. Springtime came around, and I started seeing them come back up to the surface again when the water warmed up, and basically the ones that were I've got some big ones in there now. They're a couple years old. The biggest ones are the ones that survived, which is fine. They'll repopulate. The bass eat the little ones and stuff like that. I don't mind it being in there, but it kind of helped me out because it thinned them out a little bit. They were getting a little too overpopulated. So, but where you're at, you'd have a complete die off, unless you want to put a heater on your pond.
mm.
That might get a little expensive.
What color did you hit them on today, Steve?
I've been using that same hand tie for shoot 6, 7 trips, and then I put what did I use? A black and a new color I put on the bottom. I haven't even named it. And
Uh huh.
then I went to the same color in an 1.5 inch split tail. And that was it. And I didn't even have to change the hand tie. It just broke off.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Green has been the deal with me, unless the water's brown, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But
I went a
and
1/16 with a split shot, and then I went to a 1/8 without a split shot. A lot of times I had to go deeper in there, and I didn't want the split shot on there.
right, right.
Then I went to another 1/8 when I went to the timber. It was about 22 foot.
Were they pretty aggressive or?
You had a maybe 4 or 5 seconds. You had a once they saw it, they were aggressive, but you'd have it there and they wouldn't even. Then all of a sudden they would see it. They shimmer,
Uh
and then
huh.
it was over. You better hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot
What
of
what
small
uh
fish.
what size head you use yesterday, Joey?
So I got to tell you, I'm pretty hung up on a 1/24 ounce.
Okay.
I like it. I pretty much stick to that nonstop, and I've got and I bought a ton of different, you know, sickle hooks because I just use the same thing I do my hand ties with. But a 1/24th number 4 is
Uh
kind of
huh.
my always going to be on it go to.
Yeah.
I tie my bluegill uh, micro jigs. I tie those are 1/32 number
Number
sixes, I
6.
believe.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
used to.
is what I tie on there. But as far as crappie go, with what I have the majority of is if I need weight, I just add a split shot
Right.
because that's what's above it. I've got 1/8. I've got all the different sizes, but
Uh huh.
that 1/24th is kind of that. It's between a 32nd and a 16th, so it's kind of
Right.
a sweet spot for me.
Yeah.
I've been using more 1/16.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I've been
Yeah,
on a lot here lately.
I think I
Mhm.
tried. I did a little with a 1/32, just to see if it was a difference. And I
Yeah.
kept it on there, maybe 4 or 5 fish.
Cool.
And I had
One
two
thing,
split shots on there with that.
yeah. One thing that I will say, this is another SK's big tip is, down here, sometimes it's kind of tough to get the fish attention. And going with a little heavier jig head helps them realize that bait is there faster. But at the same time, you gotta go light enough for their aggression. So if they're not super aggressive, they're not gonna suck a eighth or a bigger jig head down.
Mm-hmm.
I love using 1/8. You got more control.
That's what I like. If
Yeah,
I
but
can, I like using it.
if I can get away
Sometimes
with it,
it's
I
too
want to use a
heavy,
1/8.
short strike. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you get a lot of missed hook sets, you
Yeah.
gotta,
Yeah.
that 16th is that middle.
Yeah.
For me. And it's been working. I've been on that 16th, man.
Yeah.
I mean, since the water temp and been, high 70s, I've been stuck on that 16th. Joe, Craig asked, "Is your pond spring
Yeah,
fed?"
I typed in a response. No,
Oh,
I've
did
got
you?
it. Yeah, I tapped off of my. I got a water well, so I've
Okay.
got to tap off of it if it dries up because I've had it go 3 foot low the past couple summers when we've had these real dry summers. And so when they reconfigured some stuff, I had them. It wasn't a real long run off of what it was
Mm-hmm.
already underground, so we just tapped off, and I just put a valve. I can go out there and open it up, and
Yeah.
I can usually put a foot of water in it in 24 hours. So
Okay.
it's a quarter-acre surface area. It's a deep pond, but it's a quarter-acre surface area. So
Yeah.
it's not huge. I think Craig's is like 2 acres. It'd take him some more time. Of course, his whole situation's different than mine. He's got a lot more dirt than I do, and
That's what's up. Yeah, uh, seasons brought up a good point too. It's something that you got to pay attention to when you are using a light jig head. And one thing that helps is it's almost impossible to use split shots with a 30-second and have braid.
Right.
Tie off the braid because
Too
braid's
lame.
gonna tangle.
Yeah.
So if what's helped me, if I'm having to use a 30-second, is to use a mono leader at least
Mhm.
12 pound, 10 to 12 pound test, or even heavier if you can get away with it, and it prevents that jig from tangling up with your weights.
Are you running 15 on all yours now?
12,
12. You run 12. Okay.
yeah, P line.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
use.
I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer in P line for leader line.
I'm a
Yeah.
firm believer in being a copycat on guys I know catch them.
Yeah, I went to 15-pound fluorocarbon. That's all I've
Okay.
been using. Yeah.
Now I think floor is a little stiffer than
Yeah.
mono, is it?
Yep. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've never, as long as I've been fishing, ever used fluoro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like it. It's
Yeah.
strong.
Is it abrasion resistant? Pretty
Yep.
good.
Yep.
I wonder if P line. I think P line makes
Yeah, they make it.
They all pretty much make if
Yeah.
they make mono, they pretty much
Yeah.
offer a fluorocarbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
A
made
little more expensive.
yeah,
Yeah.
lot more
Fluorocarbon.
expensive.
But
Not a little
braid
bit.
at the stores are expensive too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Them braids are up there.
yeah, yep.
The
I think
thing
I got
about fluoro is it
1,000 yard spool for $52.
yeah,
I
That's
it's
buy
got
not
the
bad.
spools,
no
yeah.
stretch. If you
No
don't want
stretch,
stretch
yeah.
in
I
your
don't like
leader,
that stretch.
yeah. P
I
line
remember
doesn't
back
have
in
the
the day,
stretch.
mono, you'd hit it and it'd be like a rubber band. I don't like
Yeah, yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, P line doesn't stretch like some other like trilene is elastic. You know, there's a lot of stretch in like trilene or some of the other ones. And there's some instances where that's a good thing, but for what we're doing, not so much. P
I
line
don't have
doesn't
no
have
drag, no stretch, no nothing.
oh,
Yeah.
you rip them out right
Oh
up,
yeah.
yeah, you're coming up.
Yeah.
I use my drag.
Mm-hmm.
my hook set's too violent for me not to use the drag. So Jr. I don't use them on guide trips, but I do if I'm especially if I'm tournament fishing. I got some half ounce swivel weights and 3/4 ounce swivel weights that I'll use if I'm tournament fishing. But I will not use them uh, while I'm guiding because I get hung up on they and it's expected. I mean, the client's gonna get snagged up and if you use that swivel, I mean it you don't use a very long leader on it, but you tie a couple times you got to tie a whole new leader on there versus I can put a 18 to 18-inch 2-foot leader on there, use split shots and just slide those split shots up and retie and we back in the water.
Mm-hmm.
But it both of them work, and it's like you say, the swivel weight does help with the twisting. But I found that man, those split shots are hard to beat if you're in a pinch on time, without a doubt. Did you pull a funny out of that out of the hat? Did you pull a funny out of the hat?
People lighting fireworks already.
Really?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard a couple the other night out here. Oh boy, here we go. I'm thankful I don't have dogs that lose their minds over them.
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
people got real issues with that. I'm with you, Black Smoke. When I'm fishing in my pond, I use a really light line too because it's
Okay.
just that much more fun.
I ain't never used 2 pound.
Now, I use for my blue if I can get away with it because sometimes they are line shy too. But I run straight 10-pound mad braid
Oh, okay.
on my bluegill fishing when I can get away with it.
Yeah.
That 10-pound mad braid is a great braid for casting.
It casts really good.
Mm-hmm.
Slab B says mine too. SK I run braid. Have to turn the drag down a lot. Yep. I wanna rip some lips, but I know that when I yank, man, it's really too much. So
Yeah.
I want to be able to peel my line out without flipping
exactly,
the bail.
exactly.
And
Yep.
so that's and I'll tell you,
That's another benefit of a light
you
drag.
you're gonna learn the hard way. You don't have that drag set right. You start to peel some braid.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna come up with
Slice
a
you
bloody
wide
finger.
open. Slice you wide open.
Yeah. So things to keep
JR.
in mind. You better turn that drag down if you're gonna hand peel it without flipping your bail. If you're using any kind of
Yeah.
you use bait casters, don't you,
Yeah.
Steve?
Yep.
Yeah.
Big house. Right now, in the winter, I'll change. If I'm fishing 40 foot down, like on fork in the winter, then I'll go spinning reels. It's
Mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
easier. But now
It-
I'm not fishing over 25 foot.
Oh, I guess
yeah.
I
Yeah.
can see that. You need
Yeah.
to be if
Yeah.
I was fishing that deep, then I'd probably do the same
Yeah.
thing.
I got the what they call them jigging reels. You push the button, you peel off line. As soon as you let go of the button, it
It
locks
locks.
It
automatically.
locks
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, you don't
Okay.
have to turn no handle, no nothing.
Interesting. Okay.
And then I have it on free spool, so when I push the button, my jig goes down automatically, and I can just stop it where I want. It just free spools off of the spool.
Okay.
Without the fish. Hey, one thing I will tell you, Slabs on deck. He runs a race with me on that hook set. Hey, I had a client now Monday. The two clients I had Monday, one I had to always, hey man, set the hook, set the hook, set the hook. And the other client, I was like, hey man, take it a little easy, man.
Oh
Take it a
wow.
little
Man,
Now, it is hilarious when you got two people and they gonna all one gonna do something better than
yeah,
the other
yeah,
one, and I mean it's just that's just the way it is, man.
You can gauge if your hook set's right by if it's 5 inches or below, and you don't rip him and straighten your line out straight up in the air
Yeah,
when you set the hook on him, you're not setting it hard enough.
right.
yeah,
You got to
I
send that thing into space. If it's
yeah,
5 inches or below, he needs to go 20 foot in the air when you set the hook.
Exactly. I agree. You need to go
If-
on an elevator ride.
Yep.
yeah, if he's not doing that, go home and do some bicep curls.
Yep.
Get your strength up, because and you're not going to hurt crappie on a vertical. That hook's going in that bony roof of his mouth.
Exactly.
You're not gonna rip his mouth off.
Right.
Yeah.
Ice reels. Yeah, I have some.
Yeah. Season says deeper the water, the less drag and stretch you want. At least in my opinion. I want zero. I want zero stretch.
Yeah, I don't like
And
this.
and here's the deal. If the fish are not being aggressive, in my opinion, if you're using mono, you're not gonna feel those bites like somebody that's using braid.
Yeah,
Mhm.
braid. I can notice it from fluoro. Braid is
Exactly.
sensitive. I remember I used to pitch a jig, line even straight, and you could feel that bite.
Yep.
And it wasn't even tight lined.
Exactly.
Just, because I'm always holding the line. That line, you could feel it through the line as soon as that fish hit it. Before you could even feel the rod.
Yeah.
Yep, that line would tick.
Yeah.
You talking about mono or braid?
Braid.
Right.
Or
Yeah.
I'm sorry, fluoro or
braid.
braid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fluoro, you don't feel it as much. You feel the hit, but not like braid. Braid is real sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. JR, I'm gonna recommend something that I know has helped me and helped a lot of people that I've talked to about this. A 8 may be fine. But man, I'm gonna tell you, go with a heavier weight. You'll find that you move your jig through the water column a lot faster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you get it to the fish a lot faster.
Yeah.
And speed, I always say this, it's like fast, slow. You got to move really fast. Then once you get your jig to the fish, slow it down.
Yeah.
But you want that jig on that fish right now.
Yeah.
And a 1/8 ounce weight, man, I'm gonna tell you, it's slowing you down big time.
Yeah.
It's slowing you down.
Especially open water fish. You want to
Exactly.
get on them things quick.
Especially if they're swimming.
Yep.
Means
I don't
you're
know,
the best,
Wayne.
Wayne. That means you're the best, Wayne.
No,
It means you won. Good job.
Craig said a tomahawk was very good, but the kids stuck with the bill.
Stuck him with the bill.
They
Yeah.
stuck
Oh,
you
stuck
with the
him
bill?
with the
Yeah,
bill.
he said that
Man.
Go
last
figure.
couple weeks ago.
Even on Father's Day.
Did him dirty.
We want the tomahawk.
Man, I tried to find that other recording, man. I wanted to play it, but I hadn't. I don't think I've been able to pull it up. And this is not it. There was another recording to where there was some thermocline right there, but I can't. I don't know. I can't find it on my phone.
You'll have thermocline in the 11 foot of water sometimes.
Oh yeah, 6 foot of water.
Yeah. It's
I wonder
thermocline and
why.
11 foot comes up to 5 and 6
Because the
feet.
heat, 'cause
Exactly.
the water temperature isn't.
Steve, I was in
Is it like a
thermocline.
turnover?
Well, that's
It's
what they call it, but man, I don't know.
It's just Lake Houston.
Right here, early morning, low light. You better believe it's gonna be thermocline.
Yeah. And I was in areas, some of it was so thick, Steve, when I was side scanning.
Yeah.
If you didn't realize that it's so
You
thick
think it
on
was
the
the
side
bottom,
scan,
yeah.
it looks like bottom. It's
Exactly.
that thick. You'll be looking at a water column that it's just slightly darker than what is regular bottom, and the line will be at 5-6 foot down, and your depth finder showing 10-11 foot of water. It's that thick. And just keep right on going, because there ain't no fish over there, nothing that you want to catch.
This is not it. I couldn't find. I'll see if I can't find it for the next live, but
That's a pile.
oh man, but there are so many areas on Lake Houston that's like that it's unreal.
Yeah.
And you just you have to, and it's like I tell my clients, I mean, all we can do with them being dug in the way they are, you got to slow down.
Yeah.
And you got to turn that troll motor. And that's why I always say that it's so much better to have that transducer on your trolling motors because you can pan it. You
Right.
want to pan because stuff that's that thick, one little limb can block the fish.
Yep.
So as you're slowly trolling, you want to be able to get those angles, pan that troll motor. It's a constant pan until you get your target.
Did that? I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks to me like maybe that fish you were targeting was directly under that
Up under the
overhanging
limb.
limb, and he lost the
Exactly.
bait when you came up with it.
Yep, my bait got snagged on it, so I had to drop
Mm,
it back down to him.
okay,
And then once that happened, it
it
you
was
know it
over.
was it
Yeah,
was over for that bigger
the
fish.
bigger fish. Yeah,
Yeah,
they know.
yeah, they know,
Yep.
they know. Yep.
They remember from that time they got thrown back in when they were an 8.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Without a doubt. But right now, man, speaking of summer fishing, man, it's a lot of people shun away from it, but man, summer fishing can be awesome,
Oh
man.
yeah, I like it.
I'd
Oh
rather
yeah.
summer than spring any day, anytime. Uh, the fish you find in Lake Houston is not that lake to whereas you're gonna see a school, but you find an area and there'll be a stretch right there where you'll find that if you look up under those limbs, pay attention to the bottom, and you'll find those fish. They're not gonna be schooled up, but
Right.
but you'll find where you catch one fish, you turn your trolling motor over here, bam, there's your next fish. You go to that one, you catch that one, turn your trolling motor, bam, there's your next fish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it is summertime. Uh,
Yeah, I don't think they pile up like that because they don't have to. They got so
you
many
know,
different
it's so much
areas they can
structure.
spread out. They
Yeah.
don't have to
Yep.
compete for food. They can all kind of find their own
Yeah.
place,
Yep.
hang out, and something's going to come to them. They're spoiled, is what it
Yeah.
is.
One thing that I feel that the reason why they do that is everything wants to eat them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have anything around them, they know when something's around them.
Right.
So if they're, I, it's rare that you see Lake Houston clean enough to where they can actually use their eyes.
Yeah.
So I think they're really dependent on that lateral line
Mm-hmm.
and any pressure, anything that's around them, they don't want it because they're more susceptible for harm,
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
in my opinion. But
Yeah. No, it's
it's
logical.
just from what I've been seeing.
Well, you go to a lake like Conroe where the structure is way more isolated. You got to go
Exactly.
a lot further to find it,
Yep.
things like that.
Yep.
You find those fish congregated
Yeah.
a
And
lot
on top
more.
of that, the clarity is 10 times cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I got to get to Livingston. Anybody in the chat fish Livingston? Have you ever fished Livingston, Joey?
I have. I was a kid when we did it. We always fished the Kickapoo Creek area in the
Uh huh.
springtime and destroyed them. I mean, it was I don't remember hearing nothing about limits, but I remember seeing full ice chests,
Right.
and it was constant. One of the things we did a lot was we'd rent a place for the Easter week up there, and that's really when we would be heavy spawn springtime.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, even my mom's uncles, well, the ones that are left now, um, still, they still fish up there, but they go after the LBG special, those white
White
bass.
bass. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they get
That's
after
what
those
that
white
lake is
bass.
really known for, but I know for a fact that it got good crappie in it.
But yeah, it's bound to happen, and I definitely want to try it again. And I got a boat that I can cover the ground with now, and handle the waves. That boat, the way it handled Conroe, I'm not scared of Livingston.
Yeah. You know
That's
how to
for
run
sure.
that lake?
What's that?
Do you know how to run it?
Livingston is pretty. I mean, I've had quite a bit of boat experience on it, especially in the south part. It's a deep lake. It's a
Right.
very deep lake. And so the north end is where you get into a lot of the stumpy areas and things, and you got to be real cautious. But the south side of the lake, it's pretty wide open, and I mean, there's some real deep spots in it that if
Yeah.
you're in the main channel, you're fine. You're not going to hit anything.
Do they
It's
have
pretty
marked
big.
channels out there or no?
90,000 acres.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's a
huge.
big lake.
It's
Yeah.
huge.
I don't recall having ever seen any kind of marked channels.
Yeah.
And I've been across that 190 bridge numerous times where you can look out and you can see the minefield, the stumps sticking up
Yeah.
everywhere and
Yeah.
everything. And I've never seen any kind of markers
Yeah.
out there either. And there's quite a few boat ramps, but if I was gonna fish it, and when I do go to fish it, I'll probably trailer up to Onalaska
Mm-hmm.
and put in at Onalaska and fish that north side. But it's a huge lake, and I know they're all over it. I just, well, I tell you, I couldn't imagine trying to figure them out on the south side because it's just so much area.
Yeah. One thing about that lake that the reason why I haven't been is I'm not sure if you know Shad Slinger. There's a white guide up there catfishing white bass.
Mm-hmm.
His real I don't know his last name, but his first name is Loy, but he go by Shad Slinger.
Okay.
I've been talking to this guy, I bet you 20 years, and we've been talking about him coming to Houston and Conroe, and me coming to Livingston, and he's told me stories of 40-foot water, and there's a tree right there that'll take your lower unit off.
Really?
Yeah,
Hmm.
and stuff like that, man.
Yeah,
And as
that'll make
big
you.
as Livingston is, it
Yeah.
would take you
That's a big lake.
years to
Yeah. 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 We always the main thing we always did. We did crappie fish in the spring, but my mom's uncles would always take me trolling for white bass, and I don't ever remember having any issues on the south side of the lake. But it's
yeah,
it's pretty obvious once you get up to the north side that you're getting into some structure.
right.
You can see it. You can see it sticking
Yeah.
out of the water. So
Yeah, I know that island that's out. What's the name of that island that's out there?
Pine Island, Pine
Pine
Island.
Island. I know
Yeah,
it's a well-known area.
Yeah, they
we
get a
would go.
black crappie 352 and a white crappie 375.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you this, back in the day during the spawn, the Kickapoo area, you could walk from boat to boat.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But there were several years where that lake just got pounded and pounded and pounded. And it had to be some natural disaster that happened. I'm not sure if it was the 2011 drought that caused something happened to where a lot of those fish had to have died off because it went from
Mm.
a great crappie lake to people complaining that they can't catch any.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Sort of what happened with Lake Houston. Lake Houston's making a great comeback though. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. Lake Houston is. I've been seeing way too many small fish, and over time, it's going. Lake Houston used to be that lake. I don't care if it was a twig on the bottom. This
Yeah.
was before live scope. If there was a twig, if your jig bumped anything in that water, you was highly capable of catching crappie.
Mm-hmm.
But I still pass. You got live scope now. You can see if there's fish on. There's still a lot of structure that's bare, but it is definitely coming back. But Livingston, I'm going to make it to Livingston soon, uh, and just going to pick one little area and do like I do. Just idle it up, break it down. Uh, no different than what I've done with all these other lakes. One of the absolute easiest lakes, in my opinion, to break down is Lake Somerville. Absolutely no stump. Well, I take that back. There is a couple of areas with stumps and trees, but uh, most of that lake is you fishing, secondary points and ledges and stuff like that. There is a couple of areas where you got to be careful because they got some stumps in. Not, and I'm talking about there's like this little cove right here that got tree stumps in it, and a little cove way over here they got. But as if you're in the main body of that lake, you ain't got to worry about no stumps or anything.
So it's got structure in it that's just not
Yeah,
sticking up
yeah,
that close to the
man
top.
made, all
Oh,
brush pile. It's a brush pile lake.
okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Craig said, "Did you use your grill yet, Steve?"
Nope. I used the cutting board though. Yep, it's good.
Gerald said he built hay in Kickapoo Bottom before the lake, before it was a lake.
Oh,
Yeah, that's you putting a date on yourself, JR.
Slabs on Deck say, "I'll take that ride to Livingston with you.
oh,
We'll make
cool.
it happen." I can't say it's gonna happen this week. I thought I was gonna be able to make it happen this week, but I highly doubt it. I got some work I got to do on my lease. I got to get with the guy that I'm leasing from. We got to do some road work up there, do some creek management, and I got a whole setup, 3 ladder stands, feeder, all of that stuff that I got to. I'm gonna make a move with it. So I got to get out there and get that done. Uh, because hunting season September will be here before we know it. And it's July already.
Yeah. Oh,
So
I've got them coming up in the yard, and they got velvet stumps
Yeah.
yeah,
off their
yeah,
head
yeah,
now.
yep,
It's that time of year. Babies are about to be growing out of their spots. The early season ones. Got some newborns still hitting the ground, but for the
yeah.
most part, I had a
I'm seeing a
uh,
lot of spotted deer.
yeah, I had a set of twins that were pretty faded walking through today. So it's getting that time of year where it's time to start getting the corn out and all that
Yep,
stuff, getting them patterned up again for the
uh,
fall.
yep. JLD, do you currently fish Livingston, or is this years ago that you used to pull 2-man limits out of there? Says there are definitely some big trees under the water. Wayne says I hear Livingston has its own Loch Ness monster.
Right.
Craig said, "Well, guys, I gotta help my wife out of her chair. Catch you guys later." All right, Craig. Hey, man, take care of that wife of yours, man. She'd do the same for you. JR
Oh, I
says that
didn't, I didn't know you were related to them, Jr.
Yeah, I'm gonna
if you
post
launch on
today's
west
picture.
side of dam,
That's today.
sweet.
Yep. Yep. 3 hour limit. It wasn't
Gonna
bad,
be
and I played around a lot.
yeah.
I
Gonna be
think
some
that's
fine eating.
Yep.
I think that's 3278, Jr. Isn't that 3278 Marina? It's
Trying to look
Browders. It's
at
been known as
Browder.
Browders forever, but it's a marina at the very southern tip of Lake Livingston.
Uh-huh.
And when I say my
West side.
mom's uncles took me fishing, we would launch out of there quite a bit to get up to Pine Island. But there's a little neighborhood down there called Camilla Coves, and that's where my one great uncle had a place. Kind of, it was just a trailer on a little
Yeah, I
lot,
didn't realize
this little fish camp.
that's a big lake. That's
Yeah,
probably
it's
one
huge.
of the big top 5 in Texas, probably.
Yeah, it's a big lake.
Yeah.
It's real big.
Yeah.
You're not gonna run it north to south real
Right.
quick.
Yep.
I know
Yep.
that.
Tim, I pulled off second place on that Somerville tournament. I was surprised that boat that they had 12 boats to fish that tournament. 12 boats in a summer crappie tournament.
Hmm.
We never see that down here, I don't think. I'm about to put some messages out talking about people. Need
Oh
to
man,
come test
3
their
hours,
crappie.
8 minutes to Livingston State Park from me. I didn't think it was that far. I get to Conroe faster than that.
Yeah. It's more
Yeah,
east.
because you're coming off 45.
Yeah.
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 Huntsville, east.
Uh-huh.
You could do the Trinity River side of it up off of Huntsville,
Yeah.
which is it's fed by the Trinity River.
Yeah, I see that bridge
Um,
going over the north end.
yeah,
190.
190 bridge. Yeah, that goes from Huntsville to Onalaska,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that basically splits the lake from Kickapoo Creek. That's kind of the
Okay.
boundary of
Okay.
it right there.
Is Kickapoo north of that bridge?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Plains
that's a big lake.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Stabs on deck says Squiddo fished Livingston not too long ago. I think he made a post about it. Yep.
Yeah, there's a Facebook page that I'm on, Livingston. I see all the crappie pictures and stuff.
Huh.
Yeah.
Send me the link to that because,
Okay.
dude, I'm gonna tell you the Livingston page that I see, white bass,
Mhm.
white
Yeah.
bass, catfish, and the guides on there. I mean, there ain't no crappie guides. I mean, all the guides up there are white bass and catfish.
Dale posted on there. As
Oh, really?
soon as I opened it 3 hours ago. Oh, asked
It's
about
been about
fireworks.
2 years. The inlet to
190
Kickapoo,
Kickapoo.
I
Yep.
heard, is pretty silted in. Huh.
Look at this guy.
Joey, you
David
probably bought
Edwards.
that lot from my brother. He ran the realty for my dad, cousin back in the day.
Okay. Yeah, more than likely it was the little area was called Camilla Coves, and it was just south of there. And so we would he'd get me up early, and we'd fish the Trinity River in the morning, come back, and then go trolling for white bass in the afternoon. And we'd catch catfish in the morning in the river, come home. He'd get me out of bed at 5 a.m. So I was a kid. I'd go pass out. He'd wake me up a couple hours later after he'd cleaned those, and then we'd go out in the lake. And I remember we came back with 75 in 2.5 hours one time.
Mm.
And so, but that's why I learned to use an electric knife cleaning
Yeah.
fish. He's the one that taught me, so.
Tell you what, Somerville, man, them guys up there, they're doing 2 and 3 hour 100 fish limits on white bass right now. Man, I've seen
Hmm.
a school so biggest white bass school I've ever seen on live scope. I mean, it just cluttered and I'm
Man.
talking about for 100 yards.
Where was that at?
Somerville.
On Somerville.
Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you now, Houston got its fair share
Yeah, there's some,
of
especially
white
down by
bass
the
too.
railroad bridge. There's quite a
Exactly.
few of them down there.
Yep.
I caught 3 or 4 nice ones today on brush.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Tim, I was the first loser. He said ain't nothing wrong with silver. I was the first loser. Still got paid though, so that's all that that ain't all that mattered. I mean, it was still fun. Got to meet a bunch of guys that I've never met before, so that steep lunch on the river.
Yeah, JR, you know the place.
JLD say you can probably launch at Broken Arrow. Just be careful. I don't think their boat ramp is very good.
I don't
Yeah, I've
know
heard of
there's a
Broken.
KOA campground up there, and I don't know if it's right on the water or not. But if they had a boat ramp, I'm sure it would be a good one.
Yeah. Squiddo says I used to go to Browder's all the time to put in the river and catch white bass and crappie. These days I can only clean so many fish. I can only clean so many fish for myself. It felt good to clean at 50 today, but that was a phenomenal day for Lake Houston, man. It just caught me totally by surprise. Yeah, we hit 30, and I'm looking at my unit. I'm like, it ain't even 9 o'clock yet.
Wow.
And as the sun got up, the bite did get a little bit tougher, because they
Mm-hmm.
were going into the structure, but still, man, 50 fish on Lake Houston before 11 a.m. That's pretty daggone good.
I don't know why I haven't done it yet, and I keep saying it. I live way too close to the lake to keep putting it off. But for some reason, I need to do an evening run. I need to
Yeah,
put in at 3 o'clock and just fish till I know it's still safe to get in and you know.
Yeah. Well, y'all, I think we've
Yep.
covered a lot of stuff, man. I'm about ran down. Joey, appreciate you coming on.
Yeah,
Super
no,
Dave,
thanks.
Appreciate it, Joey.
always Steve.
I'm gonna make it down there. I just that wind
You
and that
ain't coming
rain.
down here.
Yeah, I got to get them bluegill before they stop. Another
Hey, I
month
tell you what,
probably.
me and Tim caught some, man. I was looking at them like, man, these jokers, they getting thin.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't want to keep any. I just want to catch them.
yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get in contact with that lady on the page that won that trip, man,
Oh
because
yeah.
she hit me up on the post, but I hadn't heard anything from her.
Mm,
After a while, it's gonna be too late.
yeah.
They'll still be able to go out and get fish. I mean,
Yeah.
catch fish, but
Right.
they won't be worth filleting. But Tim he still took home some jokers.
Yeah, that's
Fillets
amazing.
look like
Yeah.
crappie fillets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they will, we'll get you, whenever you get down here, we'll
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
you. But I appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Again, Super Dave, brother, much
Yeah.
appreciated. Uh, and everybody else, get out there. I'm gonna tell you, early. Get out there early. And it is summertime. A lot of these kids out of school. When I went back out after I got seen my clients off today, there was jet skis, and it's summertime, so these
Yeah.
kids are out of school and they got daddy's boats out there and whatever else. So
Yeah.
if you get out there early, man, you can still get out there and get you a good sack of crappie. Down here, Lake Houston, even Lake Conroe, the thermocline is starting to pop up. And it's just something we have to deal with.
Hmm.
What I will say, early morning, I am seeing some of those fish, down 2 foot under that thermocline, and they're just sitting there. It is low oxygenated water, and those of you that don't know what thermocline is, you will know it especially if you have live scope, even if you have side imaging, down imaging. It's a fog and you'll see a distinct line that go across your unit
It's real
and down,
grainy.
real grainy. Yep, looks like fog.
Yeah,
And
static. TV static kind of
or
looks like
TV
that.
static, exactly. And just like my clients say, man, I was expecting to come out here and be fishing 20 foot deep. Now that one is thermocline. Uh, get over you anywhere from 8 to 15 foot of water. And I wouldn't even be paying attention any deeper than a foot or two beneath that thermocline if you want to catch crappie.
Yeah. When I
That's
left the
all I
event
got.
today, there was no boats in the parking lot. Yeah.
Wow,
Nobody. I was like, "Ooh, I got this whole place to myself."
that's awesome right there,
Yep.
man.
Yep.
JR says, Steve, is that this year you coming?
Yes, I'm coming this year. This year.
We'll make it
December
happen.
29th.
Before them.
The
Bluegill
bluegill stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another month.
We're
Yeah.
gonna be saying Merry Christmas to him.
I've been to Conroe once. We had fun.
Yep. Yep. Super Dave, brother. As always, again, thank you. And as he always says, be safe, everyone. Wear those PFDs. Please wear those PFDs. It makes you
Yep.
look like a real
Yep.
smart man.
I saw another guy today they found drowned.
That's so sad, man.
And this weekend there's going to be 4 or 5.
It's gonna be even worse.
Yep.
Hey, you want to hear something kind of eerie? Did you see the story of the younger lady that had fallen off the jet
Yeah.
ski and
Uh-huh.
drowned? So she was working for a real estate office in Atascocita, which is EXP. It's a different realtor than I work for, but I saw that girl walk through the office because I took my license test at their office.
Oh, okay.
And when I saw her, I recognized her. I remember her coming into their office that
wow.
morning. It's just wild how small of a world it is.
Man.
So yeah, it really sad story.
Yeah.
I talked to Lake Patrol today about that. It took them 3 days to find her.
That's as a as a retired Coast Guardsman, I will tell you that does not surprise me at all. That's
Yeah.
just kind of how it works.
Will the gators eat them up, or
Not on the south end.
Oh.
There are gators over there, but it's not like the north end.
Yeah, without getting really gruesome, not that soon. And that's all. That's where I'll leave it.
Yeah. I talked to I made that post. It's been probably a year, maybe a year and a half ago about maybe doing a couple guide trips to where we donate and then do a drawing for those and then get a live scope system to put on their on Lake Patrol's boat.
Mhm.
And I just, I hadn't found a lot of interest in that. Man, it'd be super cool if we could do that. But it's like I told the sergeant today, they run into a situation like that, man. I'll be more than happy to come out there just to help, just to satisfy the family and not put them through days of
Lake
having to look.
They got a list of fishermen that they call.
Yeah, but I don't know what the deal would be. He looked at me. It took us 3 days. I said, well, why y'all didn't call me?
Mm-hmm.
They still trying to do a side imaging.
I know a couple guys that done it, and one of them found the body, and he said it was pretty.
The thing is, I don't want to see. I'm gonna throw a marker buoy. Look, this is what I see right here, and I'm gone. I'm not trying to look at nobody coming, from out of the water. I'm not.
Stop floating after so many days,
That's about the third day. That's when that happened.
That's probably when they found her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's about what it takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I know they had that whole end of the lake shut off too.
Yeah, I'll just tell you that, when there's an incident that happens, with the Coast Guard, the helicopters go, the boats are grid patterning, they're doing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say it like this, but a lot of times those are dubbed closure patrols.
Right.
And it's literally done for the sake of peace of mind for the family that we're doing everything we can. But after so many repetitive cases, and you just kind of understand how those things work and how the process and what goes on in order for somebody to come back up.
Yeah.
And so, that's just the nature of the beast. Unfortunately, it's terrible.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. Joey, hang on a minute.
Yep.
Everybody in chat, we appreciate it. We're going to see you guys next week. Same time, same flavor.
Yep.
Peace.
See ya.